Welcome to your race replay of Sunday Night NASCAR at Circuit of the Americas. My name is James Riles, and I will be running through the grid with you, show you how we qualified as we go into this race. Qualifying P1 is Joe Stafford, followed by RJ Root, the number 69 car, Austen Storey in third, Seba Cornez in fourth, Ryan Samuelson in fifth, Jack Anthony Durham in sixth, Nicholas Breidenbach following him up, Chad Sanner and then we have Charles Eaton in 8th, Alan Henson in 10th, Bob Nestor in 11th, Dean Weeks in 12th, Dean Weeks in 12th, followed by Mike Contino in 13th, Chris Cloud in 14th, Steve Dardaris in 15th, Barrett Coffey 16th, Thomas Neal 17th, Damon Lester 18th, Neil Hale 19th, Tom McGee 20th, Steve Gibberson 21st, Marty Roberts 22nd, and Donnie Gatt in 23rd. As we are going to be entering turn 1, let's take a look at our leaders up here. Going into turn 1, Joe Stafford's going to bring him around. Oh, as the number 8 car, RJ Root, goes off screen there for a little bit. Cuts on the inside. Other than that, pretty uneventful night. Uneventful evening for this turn 1, which is what you want to see. It's got that weird elevation change. As Joe Stafford is going to take us around in lap 1 as we've got them lined out. We've got Joe Stafford, Austen Storey right behind him, Seba Cornez, and I believe Ryan Samuelson leading after top 5. As taking a look back, Barrett Coffey in that number 4 car on the heels as Thomas Neal a little bit farther back. See a little bit of some racing going on here, some side-by-side action. The number 2, Thomas Neal, and the number 44. Let me see who that is. It might be a paint. This paint. Mike Contino over there back there as well. Here we are going into turn 2. It looks like Thomas Neal's going to take away. Let's take a look at Austen Storey fighting Joe Stafford up front. As this is a very technical track, it brings in a lot of different stuff, a lot of different areas of expertise, different tracks. There's 11 turns, I believe, 11 or 20, who knows. Tons of turns here, very, very technical, winding. It's a fun one for sure, as we got Joe Stafford again kind of stepping it out. Charles Eaton back here racing. We got Dean Weeks fighting with the number 5 car there. Oh, as he goes to break, 75 dive bombs a little bit on him. 75 going to go in. Try and arc in that corner a little bit. Not a bad idea if it's done correctly. You just got to make sure it doesn't happen back to him here in this corner, as he's going to get by there all right. I'm going to go on board with Chad Sanner here. they see him go through those chicanes, those S's. Very fun track. Oh, the number 8 car gets a little sideways. Let's see when they come around who that was. Right in front of Chris Cloud there comes out in front. Watch Chris Cloud, that Dasani number 10 car getting worked on the outside by Thomas Neal. Going past on Barrett Coffee. As we're looking at Neal Hale back there. Thomas Neal and Neil Hale. Let's take a look at our leaders up front. Joe Stafford still legging it out, but right on his back is Austen Storey in the number 23 car. A little bit farther back, we got Seba Cornez. Take a look to see if RJ Root, if he could make it back in that number 69 car. If he's been making it back. He is in the number 8 car right now just because of a paint issue. That's not his fault. He's working his way back through the field. He is not in 4th. Those times and those laps are incorrect up there. As we are going to jump ahead to lap number 4. It seems like everybody's kind of getting their own wings in. We are on board right now with Bob Nesters. He's going to take us around here to start lap number 4, going into that really technical corner there. Coming right at the start of lap 4. As going into turn 1, we see some smoke. Oh, Chris Cloud gets into the number 12 car. Gonna try and ride it. Oh, unfortunately bangs right into Damon Lester and Damon Lester in that 55 car and that 11 Cheeto Mobile also involved. Unfortunate there, a little bit of an issue. As they're gonna bring him in here, and let's take a look. It's Joe Stafford still just barely inching away as Austen Storey is staying right on him. As well as back there, Seba Cornez making his way up. And of course, RJ Root in there trying to make some moves up as well, as he's going up on Barrett Coffee and Ryan Samuelson out there. We got Barrett Coffee battling the, who is that, number 59 car. Let's get on board with the 59 car, Chad Sander. We're going to see some racing here. As he just got a rear view mirror full of Barrett Coffee right now. Barrett Coffee going to make a move on the inside. Is he going to get it coming into this front stretch here? RJ Root just watching. He's going to try and get around him. Get to the inside as we're coming up on a left-hand turn here. Should give him a little bit of an advantage. As he's going to take that inside. 59, Chad Sander's going to try and defend. Go a little wide, cut in. Can't make it happen. Decides to let him go. Going to take a look at Raymond Root here. Raymond Root now going to work on the number 4 Barrett Coffee. See him work through these chicanes here. Very technical, very hard place to pass. Gotta get as close as possible to that inside line. As RJ Rue's not letting up. Chad Sanner has checked out of this. As Barrett Coffee just gonna have to let him go on the inside. But back in comes Chad Sanner. Not giving up this fight. We got a three-way battle here for third, folks. As Chad Sanner, Barrett Coffee, and RJ Root are all fighting for this position. Barrett Coffee coming out there as Chad Sanner's kind of, and it'll line out. It'll get a little bit better. As we see coming in. We're lined out. Let's go through the field. Let's go take a look at Lauren Jones. Lauren Jones coming back on track there. That's a very technical part. Easy to fall out there. As Chris Cloud as well. Getting back in. Got some repairs on that car. As Austen Storey just trying to keep a whiff of Joe Stafford's back bumper. RJ Root kind of stepped away from Barrett Coffee here as Barrett Coffee is just kind of spread out. See if we got any movers here. We got Thomas Neal in that number 2 car, possibly making some moves. He's behind the number 44 of Neil Hale. They go to the inside of the number 5 car of Dean Weeks. Ooh, as he's going to make that inside, try and outbrake him going to the end here. Make sure he can keep his edge, and he can. He got such a long way to steer there. Really nice place to go, really nice place to pass in that last turn. As he is going to be working on the number 44 of Neil Hale next. In that very colorful green Performance Parts, GM Performance Parts car. Taking a look back up at Joe, making sure he's still in the lead as he cannot shake Austen Storey. Seba Cornez back there still as well as RJ Root working his way forward. Just passing lap 9, Joe Stafford still in the lead, but Austen Storey making his way up behind him. Getting closer and closer as tires wear out. You know, Joe Stafford is seeing a little bit of wear and tear on those tires. Seba Cornez back there as well, getting some tire wear as RJ Root sniffs him down. Let's see. Ryan Samuelson has moved up to 3rd now. Excuse me. As Ryan is in 3rd place, followed by Seba Cornez and RJ Root. So that'll be a good race there as Joe Stafford and not get rid of Austen Storey. So as we go through the field hill, Charles Eaton racing the number 44 of Neil Hale. Nicholas Breidenbach back here in a battle with the number 2 of Thomas Neal, as Nicholas is going to go ahead and pull ahead of the number 2 car. Followed by, if we can get a good look on who is following Neal. The 43 car, I believe, of Jack Anthony Durham. Following him up in that Jack Daniel black 43 car. Now, SNN is brought to you by Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get those little bass speakers that go into your chair and give you a good feel for it as number 43 car is pushing number 2. Let's see how Joe's doing up here with Austen. Of course, next week we are going to be at Charlotte, USA this Sunday, so Memorial Day race. They are going to be having some cool little paints there to memorialize some veterans at Charlotte. Of course, this is the DBR 116 at the Circuit of the Americas. As Joe Stafford's starting to feel the pressure from Austen Storey behind him. Austen not giving up the ghost here. He's going to get onto him. Of course, this is the Davis Brothers Roofing. If you're in the area of, I believe, Tennessee, be sure and give them a shout out. If you want quality roofing. Since that is the old graphic there, not Dover. As Austen Storey's just trying to figure out when they go. Maybe when they get in the pits here, they're going to have to pit for some fuel, for some tires here coming up. So we'll see if that's going to have any effect on this race. That's the number 23 car actually, slamming on the brakes, using a lap car, getting into the 57. Trying to take the lead, folks. This is the battle for the lead, brought to you by On Target Performance Group. Performance solutions for your small business. As they are fighting it out. Joe Stafford fighting to keep that position, going into lap traffic as Outcast Sim paints. We're going to go to RJ Root. This is his painter, or Outcast Sim Paints. If you need paints, get a hold of Outcast Sim Paints. You can find them on Facebook. SNN Discord, all that good stuff. See that. Let's go back to this lead. This battle up front. Austen Storey, Joe Stafford fighting, battling it out. Behind him, Seba Cornez, RJ Root, Ryan Samuelson, all top 5, all close together. Not something we usually get on a road course. So you are seeing it here, folks. More lap cars. That's going to be the number 61 of Mike Contino as he gets to take a look at this show here as 1 and 2 are battling it out. Austen Storey, Joe Stafford, all in here, coming up on the number 11 car of Lauren Jones. See how much these lap cars are going to play a factor, even if they're not trying to, but you get in there and you get starting to race. It's a little bit of a roadblock there. As we see Joe still backing them off, so as they're fighting there, we're going to go down the track. Let's check out Ryan Samuelson. Currently in 4th. He's been passed by Raymond Root. And then Barrett Coffey out all by himself, as well as Thomas Neal. Charles Eaton. Super up close. Look at him. He's battling 44 Neil Hale with Nicholas Breidenbach and Chad Sanders. So let's see here if they're going to be able to make anything work as we just go back up front here. It's hard to look away from this battle. Joe Stafford battling Austen Storey for the lead on lap 11 of 33, I believe. As it is just a back and forth race, folks. 23 of Austen Storey has been looking at the back bumper of that beautiful Joe Stafford 57 Vision Chevy Camaro. So interesting. A Chevy and a Toyota battling it out here as Austen Storey's gotten tired of being behind him. He's going to go ahead and try and make his move every chance he gets. As you can see, he's kind of caving in the rear end of that number 57 car over and over again, trying to find a place to push him out of the way, as Joe Stafford just is running a perfect line every race, every lap, consistently. Both of these guys' best times are about 0.04 of a second off, so they're very equally matched. as you can see. So see Siva Cornez in third. RJ Root in fourth. Ryan Samuelson following up behind him. As everybody's getting spread out here, there's no competitions. No competition. Oh, Charles Eaton goes in the grass there. No competition cautions here. Everybody runs it just as they bring it. So it's a very, very competitive. As we got another lap car, the number 3 car of Steve Dardarius showing up there, giving Austen Storey a little bit extra help there, as we got our second in command, Angel Santiago. How are you, Angel?
I'm doing great, James. How about yourself?
Oh man, I am absolutely living the dream. Calling a replay of a race. It's a long one. They're at COTA. We got this battle. Austen Storey has been battling Joe Stafford the whole race, 1 and 2.
It's always nice that sometimes in a road course like this, you might have one guy pull away, but to have a battle like this, that's pretty awesome to see.
As we're on board with Joe Stafford, the number 57, he's going to be passing the lap car. That is the 14 of Donnie Gatton Jr. As 57 has stayed out to pit, most likely going to pit this lap. There he comes. As we're going to take a look at, right, as Siva Cornez and Austen Storey have already pitted. They've already got that advantage as they're coming around.
Well, yeah, definitely make a difference short pitting in these cars in this track. I mean, we know how abrasive this track can be in tires.
Right. Yeah, it's 2 minutes and 30-second lap time. You're definitely going to have to come in for tires at some point, as they're going to come in, bypass that pit road entrance. As Joe Stafford's still in the pits, this could be what does it. Joe Stafford sitting in that number 1 pit stall.
Yeah, he'll definitely be losing the lead on this one. He'll be too far behind, but definitely will be losing the lead here.
As he's Joe Stafford just now getting done with his pit, coming out for his out. And you lose a lot of your angle on this turn, so that's going to slow him down as well, as Austen Storey has taken the lead here at lap 14, followed by Siva Cornez and, of course, Joe Stafford back there. As you see these, what a cool shot this is. This little
going through the S's here, oh, it's fantastic. It really shows the work that these cars got to go through. And it's not like some of these F1 cars that can go through here, just flying through those corners. There, you really got to be methodical in how you get through there.
Yeah, a lot of weight in these cars. They're not purpose-built race cars. A lot of people are like, oh, they're technically they're purpose-built race cars, but when you think of an F1 car or a SRX car, these are a lot different. Really a lot harder to throw the weight around on these cars. They've got an archaic suspension underneath these things if you take a look at actual racecraft.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you just think about when you have some of those open wheel cars like Indianapolis, where they can take a turn, going 240 miles an hour, and here these guys, they're not going to hit 240 on the straightaway.
Right. Yeah. As far as these cars have came, they're still built to be, at least halfway stock car-like. They've got the 3-link suspension underneath it. The front suspension is not super advanced. They're running a 350 small block, most of them.
Well, when you think about it, that's probably what exactly what NASCAR was aiming for with that next-gen car, to really make these cars a lot better in the road courses. And having so many now, we know we're going to have some. The road course races are already fantastic, so I can't wait to see how they run on the road courses here in iRacing. I haven't had a chance to give them a shot yet. See Joe Stafford take second place away from Siva Cornez.
Yeah, they took that away. As you can see how easy it is for him once he got those new tires to come back. He's pushing a faster lap time. Siva has been consistent. That's what saved him. He's running 2:18s, but he's running them consistently, which is about 3 seconds off from Joe Stafford and Austen Storey. But I don't know if Joe's going to have it in him to pass him, as we're going to take a look back through the field. See, we got RJ Root back there in the number 8 car. coming up on that turn 1. Ryan Samuelson taking a pit stop right now. Barrett Coffey coming out of, I believe that's turn...
Those turn 1? No, sorry, going into the final turn. Sorry about that.
The final turn and turn 1 are very similar on these cars, or on this track, so very easy to
just
see.
at the right angle.
Yep, and everybody is so spread out, especially when you throw pits in right now. Everybody is spread out, so we're going to take a look back at our leader, see if we got any battles going along anywhere in the field as we go through. Alan Henson in the number 41 car, battling the number 12 car, Bob Nestor, as he had that issue before, got involved with Chris Cloud, and he's trying to come back without a front bumper.
Well, I mean, you saw how he came to that turn, just flying to there. Maybe the 41 is hasn't quite pit yet, not sure, but yeah, even without a front bumper, he came flying through there. Nice clean turn.
Yeah, this is one of the places where a front bumper is really going to actually affect your car more than somewhere else, because you're not going to have that front splitter working to keep your steering down, so you're going to definitely see some understeer on that car, that number 12 car.
I'm loving all these patriotic paint schemes this weekend as well here.
Yeah, so that's a snafu of using the replay. So in Trading Paints, it updates all their current paints that they're racing right now. So that's actually, you guys getting a little sneak peek on what they're going to be running on Memorial Day, and we're going to be doing a little bit more focus on that. They're going to be running Sunday. They're going to be running at Charlotte, North Carolina. These guys follow the NASCAR Cup Series schedule, so they're going to be doing some patriotic throwback schemes. We're going to focus on those a lot more, focus on the names they got on there. It's a good race if you're interested in watching Cup cars race at Charlotte. High bankings. You're on a tightrope, walking between speed and tire concentration. So I'm very excited for that.
Oh, absolutely. That's one fantastic. This new Charlotte's so good for battles on the track. It makes for a great, great race.
Yeah, it definitely is. We're gonna go take a look at Chris Cloud, another one. That Sani, I like that metallic Sani paint scheme.
Very nice, absolutely. I like the darker blue to go with it.
Followed by Lauren Jones and Contino coming in there too. Oh, so we got a battle here. Donnie Gatton trying to stay in front. Yeah, you're right. Lap car there. As Austen Storey, this is a battle for first lap car getting involved in. Austen Storey and Joe Stafford fighting behind the number 61 of Mike Contino.
He'll finally let him by right here as they go into turn 1. Oh, he locks it up a little bit. No, it's not turn.
It's it. Mike Contino sees it's actually came in. He came in that lap. No wonder he let him by as Gatton. Donnie Gatton Jr. That's who was racing with him.
Oh, he had a perfect view in his rear mirror there. Those two leaders battling it out.
Yes, Austen Storey's been aggressive all day. He's been on the back of that number 57 Camaro a couple times. Now we're kind of seeing the disparity. He had the advantage when he came into pit earlier, but now Joe has leveled that advantage out. And we are back to 1 and 2 racing. You do not see this very often, man.
Oh, it is fantastic. And I like the difference in the way they're driving it in. You can tell that Joe is driving it. He's kind of letting off early, kind of let the car rotate a little more. Storey, he's definitely driving it in deep there. That's absolutely what you got to do when you're in second place, trying to put some pressure on that leader, hoping he'll mess up. Because at a road course, it's so easy to make the slightest mistake.
Right, and here at COTA, there's a ton of passing lanes. You know, if you look at turn 1, when they go into turn 1, you have so many lanes available to you. You can take it out really wide, cut that angle off, or if you're Joe, he has been running an defensive line all day as he's locking up that.
Ooh, locking up. See, no matter what you're doing, if you're in the lead, you are fighting every bit as hard as that guy in second place.
So Austen is trying to capitalize on those, but he's just staying a little too far back. As Joe is just doing a very good job of not losing it. As we got a good little view going through the S's here.
Oh, that's a fantastic view. Looks like, I would say, Storey got through the S's just a little bit better there.
Yeah, and it's, you know, at Daytona, the Daytona road course, it's always a matter of being faster somewhere and not somewhere else. But at a course like that where there's not as many passing lanes, here you can really take advantage of it if you're a little bit faster. These guys are driving almost exactly the same. As you can see them both get loose out of that corner.
So he's taking this corner very wide. Oh, he's gonna get to his rear bumper.
Oh,
Fantastic driver. He's racing clean, but they're just putting on a whale of a battle for us right here.
yes, Joe is just trying to keep an eye in front of him, trying to run those defensive lines. That's all he really can do there. If he's try not to get outbreak there. As you can see, Austen Storey going to the inside. Oh, and he did. See him cross him up. Oh, loses it on the outside. Doesn't get that drive off as Joe Stafford's not able to get the drive. And Austen Storey's going to keep the inside. Oh, pushes it wide. Oh, my gosh. Look at this battle.
That's the wrong time to do so. They're going back and forth here every turn.
This is an amazing battle. We still got 10 laps to go, I believe. Let me take a quick look here as we are on lap 17. We still got 15 laps to go in this thing. We still got a pit cycle left.
Well, I mean, this is going to be... You got what? You said seven laps left, you said?
Yeah, no. 17.
No. 17, yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's half the race right here still. These guys are battling it out like it's the last lap.
That's right. We're going to take a look. Oh, RJ Root following Donnie Gatton Jr. trying to stay as close as he can up there. You know, you're not fighting for a lucky dog or anything, so you're going to pass him. And Siva Cornez up there still in third. Ryan Samuelson, Barrett Coffey passing. That is Chris Cloud in the number 10 car, lap car, and Thomas Neal about to pass him as well. So yeah, Austen Storey, Joe Stafford, as Austen Storey has once again passed Joe Stafford. Just these guys battling it out. All right, coming up on lap 21, following Joe Stafford and Austen Storey. Seems like Joe Stafford has fallen a bit back, settled in, no more battling, as he is kind of settled in, just trying to get his calm, get his nerves about him. You know, we got lots of race left.
Yeah, and as we said before, with this track being so abrasive as it is, just take it calm. You got plenty of laps to go, and you know, if he makes a mistake, he makes a mistake. You can capitalize. Otherwise, just take it calm. Let the race come to you. You got to battle the track as much as you got to battle the drivers around you.
Yeah, 100%. Especially on a road course, you know, it's not like a 1.5 or a super speedway where you're pretty much just on autopilot. You know, every turn is an active thought process. Every turn is a OODA loop, as Joe Stafford's. Maybe coming up on a pit cycle here is Austen pitted about 3 or 4 laps early last time, so you might try and cross him over per se on the pit strategy. Into our final turn, Austen Storey gets a little bit of tire spin there, up on the lap car of Chris Cloud. And just so much elevation change too in this track, which is just gorgeous. You gotta love.
Oh goodness, I love it. It reminds me of Sonoma quite a bit. I just love how Sonoma has the same so much, especially through the S's going uphill. It's gotta be one of the most challenging ones there is. As we see Stafford coming into pits, short pitting it this time.
Yeah, Stafford's going to try and come in and short pit on Austen Storey, maybe get a couple more seconds per lap time, as these guys have been very consistent. So you can pretty much, it's not like, if I was running this race, I wouldn't pit until the very last moment because I'm not consistent. New tires aren't going to help me at all.
Well, see, my problem is I love saving tires, but I don't know how to go fast in them. So I would, depending if I'm gaining a lot at the end, then I'll stay out. If I'm not, I probably won't lose as much. But at a road course, remember you race this backwards. You want to pit right when your fuel window opens. That way, if a caution comes out, you're not going to lose a lap more than likely, and then you can stay out and maybe gain some positions.
Right, especially with this, you know, and that throws into the other effect. If there's no green flags, or if there's no yellow flags, you're pretty much just racing for speed. You're trying to get the best lap time every possible second that you're out here. That's the goal. You're racing other cars on the track, yes. But once you're at 20 or 30 green laps, you're so spread out, you're pretty much in time attack mode. So as Joe's going to come in and get those tires, maybe that'll give him an advantage because Austen's going to have to come in and pit. If he doesn't come in right now, it's going to give him that advantage to maybe have a couple laps advantage for speed on him, as there's about 10 laps left in the race. So they're not going to pit again. We'll just see if he can use it for his advantage as Joe is out of the pits. See if Austen decides to come down this time as well.
He's just gonna have to. I mean, he's just gonna lose so much time.
I agree.
I just don't think there's enough time to gain after the fact if you try, staying out too long.
Right, especially with 10 laps to go. Joe's already went in.
Here he
There
is.
Just got to make sure that your marks here not lose it coming into
exactly
that
like that.
You make the same 20 turns over and over and over again for 2 hours, and then they throw a new one at you that you have to make twice in the race.
Well, and what's interesting about that turn on the pit road, you're actually carrying more speed onto do that turn on pit road than you are when you're out on the track. So that can really throw you off.
Yeah, you're working with a shorter angle, same entry, so you got to adjust your entry. You got to adjust that muscle memory you've been having this whole time. We'll see. It's Joe Stafford. This is going to be the battle off pit road. This is what's going to decide the race. Let's see if Austen Storey can get out of his pit box. There you see him down.
He gets out, but he'll lose that lap or lose that lead.
He will. He's going to lose that lead. He's going to be just a hair faster, as folks. We're going to see another race the same way we did as he gets back into it.
Oh, he got off pit road great there. Got up to speed, just way better than I would have expected. Did not lose nearly as much time as I thought.
Yeah, and with that pit exit being right at turn 1, which turn 1 is like just from looking at it, I don't know exactly, but it looks to be like a 100-degree angle turn or more. It's pretty much a standstill. Your first gear coming out of that turn, so that was lucky for him. The speed advantage you have staying out as the out car, you lose going right into turn 1.
Yep, exactly. It gives that chance for the guy coming out of pit road where he's already going up to speed, but not quite your speed, so he can technically drive it in a little deeper because he's not going as fast.
Right. Yep, so he can cut that angle down a lot more and get back up to speed as we see Austen Storey just kind of hitting his marks, trying to get up there. You don't see really much damage on Austen Storey, but take a look at Joe Stafford's rear end where Austen has been knocking back and forth.
On the door.
Try to let me in as we got some smoke up ahead. Let's see what happened. This lap car most likely getting out of the way is the number 5 car.
Great respect for drivers. Just move out of the way, let them race it out.
Yep, 100%.
And now you wonder, we saw Stafford decide to not keep fighting for the lead and stay just far enough back from us. You wonder if he decided to do that so they can short pit him, kind of do a little bit of trickery.
Yeah, maybe he did. Maybe he felt because they were right. They were racing. They were racing hard.
Absolutely.
They had some back ends flying out. You knew they were getting loose. Maybe he decided, it's better off for me to make sure I can finish this race and have a chance for it since we are so close. Because you don't usually get that in a no yellow road course for NASCAR. You don't usually get this where one and two stay together so much. This is actually really good. It's a treat. Really good racing.
Oh, is it ever? Yeah, these guys have stayed right nose to nose with each other, and it's put on quite a show for the fans. Oh, looks like Austen is stuck in some traffic there. Yeah, that's gonna hurt him a little bit time-wise. That's the last thing he needs.
Yeah, the number 43 of Jack Anthony Durham. Nothing he could do, just coming out of the pits, and he got
absolutely
pinned between the 11 and the 23. I'm sorry, the 11 and the 43. But did seem to slow him down too much as he is still coming up on.
He's right there.
Right there. In that Toyota Camry, battling that Chevy Camaro, which there have been some issues with iRacing recently, but I don't think it's going to affect it too much here. That's really an aero issue.
Absolutely. It's you can see it's not affecting him. I mean, he is in the lead. He's been battling it out with him this entire race.
just take a look at how defensive a line Joe Stafford is racing as we are on lap 24 of 34. Joe really guards that inside.
Well, as you can see with the way Austin's been driving it, he'll come in high, take it smooth, and dive down. And this is the same place where he tried making that pass the last time.
And that's only going to work if he can get dove in on a... Oh, as it go door to door, the 23 and the 57 over and over again, battling it out.
He's going to get the advantage here.
Yes, as he's going to kind of push... 57 pushes outside.
But he got a great run off that turn, though. Lap car's going to move out of the way. This is two pros right here going back and forth for this lead.
Yeah, you know, Austen Storey always makes the pass on the left-hand section, and then Joe always keeps a hold of it on the right-hand section. Oh, man, as we're coming into the S's, I believe.
He's going to go back. Oh, he's going to drive it deep. Final turn here.
Outbrake him there. As he's,
but Austin's going to have a huge run on this front stretch. Loses the back end a little bit. That's going to take away his advantage of that run.
Oh, my. Just these battles are getting insane. Lap after lap. There's everywhere to pass here. They've got the hard braking zones, different levels you can take.
She took almost the same exact corner that way. Just barely get into that rumble strip at the bottom. Help that car rotate, keep it going.
As much as that elevation helps you brake in turn 1 and turn 2, it turns around and bites you as you're going downhill, trying to make a right-hand turn. Really easy to get that car loose as you get the weight off the springs there.
Oh, that's going to get it close.
Gets to the inside. Joe Stafford has to let it go.
Switching spots here. 23 going to go try going the right-hand side here. Make this pass. Oh, he gets loose.
Got the 43. Has a great view.
Does he ever? He's got fresher tires, so you know he's trying to be careful, not mess anything up here. And it's frustrating when you're the lap car. You have the fresher tires. You're fast. You don't want to be with these guys, but it's hard to just stay back and not do anything either.
Yeah, especially in a race like this where Jack has unfortunately got involved in some issues earlier. He's running a 2:18 as his best lap, so you know he could run up there. No one is really touching these guys as the 2:15s is what they're running their best, except RJ Root, who got involved in some trouble early, unfortunately, and had to fight back. Focusing on our leaders here, like some battles.
I'm loving this view right here. And it's perfect because you can tell he's not taking into the turns too deep. He's kind of just letting back a little bit. He could probably be doing so, but again, give the leaders the room to battle it out. And hell, if Austin gets loose there. If I'm gonna be a lap car, this is the position I want to be in. Watching the two of the best duel it out.
Yeah, I think at this point, Jack is in. He's in 11th or 10th right now. There's no one really around him. No one in his rear view.
Austin goes wide off that turn.
Oh my gosh.
Horsepower race down the front stretch. Looks like Joe had just a bit better of a run off of final turn, which he has the last few times.
Yeah, he gets a lot better. You know, Austen tries to angle out those turns, those really high angle turns, which is one thing you can do.
Get a big run.
Yeah, if Joe slips out at all, he's ready to pounce. You know, he's defending that line. There's really not much you can do about it. But if he falls off that defensive line for just a second, Austen has shown us that he's going to get a nose in there going into the next left-hand turn and take it. And these are open setup cars, so Austen could have a different setup that favors him in these shorter turns.
The way these guys have been battling, I think Austen doesn't need a second. He'll just give him half a second and he'll be there.
And it's been the whole race. I mean, that's what's amazing about these guys have been battling.
Oh!
There it is.
Joe locks it up, and there it is. That one mistake is all he needed.
Gets pushed off that defensive line. That gives Austen all that he needs to take the lead there. We are on lap 26 right now, so 8 laps to go. A little bit different than saying that at a Dover or a Charlotte. But,
absolutely.
You know, we're 8 laps to go. Plenty of time to happen. It's about 10 minutes or 20 minutes
Oh,
racing.
now Austen locks it up.
It's just going to be back and forth here. As Joe's going
Joe's
to go
there.
on the outside. Unfortunately, a right-hand turn coming up. Not going to be able to make that pass.
I think he may have locked it up a little bit there as well. Kind of pushing high. Oh, the 43's going to
Oh!
go.
That was a
Oh, man.
mercy from the number 43 car.
Absolutely. He almost got into Joe there, and he kept driving it. Didn't affect the leaders right there.
100% on him. That's good on
I
the
think
number
that he got into the
43
wall.
car. Yeah, that wasn't his fault. He was
He was just there.
racing Joe and decided to hit the e-brake, try not to wreck out one of the leaders.
I gotta say, he did a fantastic job. I don't think he's got any damage on that.
I don't believe so. It's now we're on board with RJ Root.
See, now RJ Root, he's the guy waiting. And, I'm sorry, Siva's the guy waiting in third place, hoping that maybe, just maybe, our front two drivers have some contact maybe while they're driving, and he can go ahead and steal a win.
Yes, RJ Root's right now sitting in third place behind Joe Stafford and Austen Storey. As Austen Storey is just taking a leg out. So you see from our awesome blend cam, it's a pretty good move here. You got RJ Root behind him, and Siva Cornez. Let's see where Ryan's at. Ryan Samuelson. As you can see just how spread out everybody is. Got the whole field in between them. As I think the guy to watch is going to be RJ Root. All these different configurations, I would 100% make a wrong turn.
For my first time racing here, I might end up doing the same thing.
Let's see. Everybody just pretty much lined out, minding their own business. Alan Henson in that number 41 car. 14 of Donnie Gadd Jr. Raced by, who's that? We got there, the number 47. Of McGee. These guys are...
Make that pass.
Yep. These guys are on different laps, different tires, just racing to have fun at this point.
You wonder for Joe Stafford, him not, with Austen pulling away from him, how much did running that defensive line maybe hurt his tires? Because it's not the line he's been running as the entire race, but he had no choice but to do so.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, it takes you off of your rhythm, and rhythm is where you can save your tires.
Yep, that defensive line, he's got to guard the inside. So he's got to guard the hardest part of the track to attack on. And they're the worst on your tires. As you see Austen, what his line was, he was cutting out real far, sliding it in and rolling out like you're supposed to. That line is so much easier on your tires. So maybe Joe just ran out, like you said. I think that's a astute observation. That's probably what did it. Look back, sure. Oh, RJ Root's going to come in for a pit. Oh, let's see if that's going to change anything. Oh, no!
Wayne Rex coming in. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's a good way to, is he just going to throw her in reverse? As let's see where Siva is. Siva is going to hunt that position down about 10-15 seconds back as he's just fighting a lap car there of, looks like the number 10 of Mr. Cloud. He senses blood in the water. McQueen's blown a tire. McQueen's blown a tire.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness.
He's going to get there.
Yeah, he'll make that pass.
Oh, man.
RJ's just getting into his pit stop. You wonder what damage he might have as well from that.
As we're on lap 28, 6 laps to go, that just might be all it took for Siva to finally get that podium. And he was probably just fine, chilling back where he was. Of course, RJ at that point had gotten through enough. That pit was all but a certainty where he would keep the podium. That is unfortunate for him, as you see Joe Stafford coming on the other side of the track. It's amazing how he keeps Austen Storey in his sights.
Yeah, he's not letting him get away, that's for sure. And because we still have plenty of laps left, he could still try to be saving his tires a little bit here.
Yeah, maybe saving for a last lap attack. He's still cutting pretty hard turns inside.
Yeah, that part right there, those couple of turns is probably some of Austin's best turns, where he gains quite a bit on Joe Stafford. So I no surprise there that Austin's able to pull away just a little bit. Here comes to the point of the track where I feel like Joe is just that much better than Austin.
Yeah, it seems like it's a sequence on the left
Absolutely.
sequences, on the series of turns, I guess is what I would say. Austin pulls ahead. He's more smooth. He's able to. His car's a lot more settled down. Where Joe shines is these last turns, and this first turn, where he can really cut it down.
Oh, he
And
drives
make
it in
this
so
angle.
deep.
That's where
That's a
he
car
was.
that can handle right there.
Yeah, on those quick turns, but then you see on these series of turns, Austin's gonna pull away.
I think it really goes back to the practices these guys have put in before the races. Because as you mentioned, this is an open setup race. It, with an open setup, of course, every setup is going to be different. And it's not just jumping into a car and driving in it. You got to know what the setup you have and how you can drive in. You can tell from both Austin and Joe, as you said before, they know what their setup can handle, and that's exactly how they're driving it.
Yeah, 100%. As the setup, I do fix setups. I'm a simple man. I don't have time for all that.
Oh, me too.
So, but yeah, especially on a track like this, I think there's literally, I think 20 turns is what's on the track sheet.
Yep.
So these are 20 different turns that are modeled after iconic turns in the world. This thing was built, I think, 2018 or 2016. First purpose-built F1 track in the world, or in North America. I'm sorry, not in the world. So it's modeled after so many different turns. It's not like a Laguna Seca where you've got the very similar type of terrain and turn. It's modeled after different parts of the world.
I love that. I love that. Taking some of the best turns in the world and putting them into one track, it's just a recipe for success.
Except for Pocono, but I feel what you're saying.
Oh, you know what? I raced at Pocono last night, actually.
I
Those
hate
Xfinity V cars, and I had never raced at Pocono actually until last night, and I had to say I had a blast. It was so much fun. I mean, I had a better finish setup than what I could have. A little last lap wreck with two other drivers affected me there, but it was a blast. I loved it.
It's once it clicks, it clicks. It's kind of like a road course. All the turns are different. They're modeled after different turns from oval. So it's kind of a similar situation as COTA is for that purpose. I mean, I enjoy Pocono. Bad memories.
It can be frustrating, absolutely.
Bad memories. Hard to pass at Pocono. Oh, is a little bit of lap traffic going on. Little lap trouble in front of him. Number 14, Donnie Gatton.
Took the move out of the way now, but that could have been
Oh,
very hairy for our leaders.
it could, as number 60 involved. Number 60 of Mr. Giberson there. Got a beat up car, but staying in it.
I think those drivers driving around with cars that are just beat up like that, it is so much more difficult driving around this track. I mean, with damage, you got to fight it so much harder. It's not going to be nearly as smooth. It can be very frustrating. It's exhausting, especially with a long 34-lap race like this.
And it's progressive. It's progressive. It's just going to get worse and worse as you go. You know, you're not going to really have the time to come in and take a 40 or 50-second repair, and even once you do, you're never going to get that aero back the way it was, which is so important on a car that already they're using the 750 horsepower package here, low downforce. So hard to get downforce where you need it already. Just so huge in these track cars. You just see from the 8-foot long wings on the new F1 cars.
And nonetheless, sorry about that, Joe Stafford is still staying just in tow from Austen. Just waiting for him to make a mistake, maybe waiting for a few laps to really make something happen here.
Yeah, just trying to, just like a fighter pilot, just keep them in your sights, keep them in front of you, make sure you see
Absolutely.
It's just trying his best. Hoping and praying something, you don't hope something goes wrong with somebody else, but also, you're thinking, man, if you make a mistake, I'm here to capitalize on it.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I've had enough things go wrong to me when I'm leading the race, so I'm hoping for the guy in front of me to mess up.
Yeah, for sure. see that gap there a little bit better illustrated. We got Joe Stafford.
I love that view right there you had as they go into that turn, just flying through on the brakes, making that turn to go through this long front stretch.
Especially these elevation changes. You can see it even in the blimp camera. You see that elevation changes are coming up on that Echo Park Automotive turn 1. Got Joe Stafford. Seba Cornez is about a minute back at this point. RJ Root as well, trying to fight around. Ryan Samuelson, man, everybody's spread out. This is in sequence, guys. You know, Barrett Coffey, Thomas Neal, Charles Eaton, Neil Hale. So it looks like our biggest battle here is between Thomas Neal and Charles. And even then, that's a big distance between them. We got Jack Anthony Durham, Dean Weeks, and number 5 car, Alan Henson. Donnie Gatton has got a little bit of a battle here between 3 cars on 3 different laps. Just out there racing. Mark Jones, Mike Contino, Steve Gibberson. So all these guys are on different laps. So this is not as much of a battle as it looks like. Steve Dugdarius, Bob Nestor, Tom McGee, Damon Lester is out, Marty Roberts is out, and Kevin Ford is out. So let's go take a look at our leaders as we have 3 to go here.
See, now this is one of those tracks that I don't know how would it be, you know, would you think like having a stage or 2 somewhere in the middle to kind of rack them up again be a good idea, or is that just too chaotic, you think?
If I was leading a league, what I would do at a road course is I would have a stage break. I would have probably 2 or 3 stage breaks, but ideally,
Depending on length, yeah.
Yeah, it would be a self-paced stage break. So go out on the radio, say break, break, break. Everybody catch up to the leader, and then once everybody catches up to the leader, you go. You may then you call it out. So it's completely admin driven. That way you don't have to let iRacing go through its 10-minute paces.
Yeah, you could definitely have that done a lot faster. That's actually a great idea. I never would have considered something like that. That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, it takes everybody having a mic, everybody being on the same page, which is the problem. So, but if I was
Yes,
to
that's
do
true.
it, that's what I would do. I'd say lap 10, lap 20, lap 30, everybody bunch up. All right, everybody has a chance to pit if they want to. After that, we're going. And then
Absolutely.
and you could do that even in one turn. If you even have the leader slow down to 10, 20 miles an hour somewhere, and then you just go. iRacing would flip a circuit. Probably start,
Absolutely.
a server would be burning off in the distance somewhere as the glow of the iRacing headquarters is on fire because there's everyone stopped and no caution. But yeah, that's how I would have it in a road course.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I just hate, like people show up to these road courses, myself included, and I'm not good enough to compete with the top guys. But even the guys I'm racing around, you spin once and there's your race. You're never going to find, you're either passing people you're faster than or getting past at that point. So I think a little stage break in between, let you figure out the car, I think could be helpful.
Oh, I agree 100%. That's why I consider it's like, because the cautions here just at any road course really they take so long, which is why you don't have full course cautions. And I 100% agree with that. But maybe something just to rack them up and let the fans have a little fun enjoying it. Now the guy leading the race probably ain't gonna like that, but I think everybody else would enjoy it.
Right, Austen, Storey, Joe Stafford, Seba with his consistency, he's earned it. We don't want to take that away from him. But if RJ Root, if he gets a chance to, non-organically come back from that snafu on pit road, this may be a different race.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's see, Ryan Samuelson is going to top out your top 5.
How about a race here in the rain? How much fun would that be?
Why don't you ask the NASCAR drivers? They did not think it was very fun at all.
I like the idea though that they were the 75 is that turned around there in the front stretch. I like the idea of what they tried already just less than a week later, testing rain flaps maybe to see how, or mud flaps they say, to see if that would help reduce the spray.
Yeah, and this is a asphalt. It's not asphalt. It's concrete, I believe. Not sure. But with this flat, there's really not much banking, which is the problem.
No, not
They
at
weren't
all.
really thinking about drainage when they did it. So there's not much drainage on a road, and I'm in road construction in the military, so huge, especially on that downward slope of that turn one. All that rain has to gather somewhere.
It's
So that,
got to go somewhere, exactly.
yeah, and that's more of a track issue than a NASCAR issue.
Oh, absolutely. I
And
mean, I think NASCAR did it right. Let them race in the rain. Especially when they got real bad, they stopped it, dried off that one part that was real bad, and I think they did it right the way they did. They adjusted on the fly as best as they could at the moment in time.
yeah, and once they figure out this, once they figure out the dirt, I think they've got a really good plan as far as that is. But you'd almost have to have an open cockpit. You can't have the windshields. I don't. That was kind of silly for me. Why have a windshield? You got rain tires, but you got the worst. I don't even know if they had windshield wipers on them.
I don't think so. We got somebody locking
Yeah,
up behind them.
you got no windshield wipers, and if they did, they were terrible. That would
Yeah,
be
well,
my thing.
they'd have to learn from what the Penske Ganassi cars are doing because their windshield wipers were doing just a great job
Yep.
during that COTA race.
So I mean, I'd say you do away with get these guys some tear offs. Go to the short track and get these guys some tear offs and get rid of that windshield. They would never go for that.
Well, I'm sure they'll figure something out at one point. I mean, they know they want to be successful with dirt racing, and I thought it was a pretty good race nonetheless when NASCAR went to Bristol Dirt.
I was tickled. I was tickled pink on that. The dirt guy, so that was really awesome. So, Derek coming to your finish, folks. This is lap 33. Lap 34, last lap here at Austen Storey, number 23 car. All he's got to do is keep it straight here on this last lap.
Oh, a little close one with that lap car.
Wouldn't that be wild? Broadcaster's curse on a replay. As Austen Storey has stepped it out quite a bit from Joe Stafford. He's got about a 20-second gap. Seba
I think
Cornez.
Stafford just gave it his all.
Yep. Yeah, he's like, you know what? I'm better second than third. As RJ Roots trying to come back and forth. Ryan Samuelson in that fifth place position. Let's see here. Let's look at Ryan Samuelson. We'll keep an eye on that afterwards because he may have had some issues. He is in fourth right now, but he's going to finish differently. Come through here. Let's take a look. Stay on Austen Storey. He's coming into that hairpin there.
Long stretch that they've got.
Oh yeah, definitely got time. He's just chilling out here, taking his victory lap.
If I was him, right when I win this race, I'm stopping up in turn one, letting everybody come by, then driving back down in reverse to do that burnout. That's a long drive back around.
Yes, yeah, it is. By that time, you're tired of it. You don't want to do your burnout. Just get me out of this. Get me out of this seat.
Absolutely.
And that Bubba Wallace scheme.
Yeah, he's doing Bubba Wallace right. I mean, you saw Bubba have a great race at COTA before that accident where he just couldn't see anything, and spotters before they couldn't see anything either. He was running up there in the top 5 along with Michael McDowell, which was a great run for the both of them. Just sad that Bubba's luck continues to go downward.
Horrible luck for Bubba. I've been following him this season. He has the car to do it this time. Just no practice and a new team, a new car. It's hard to make it happen. He's got 23. Austen Storey is going to cross your line. He will be your winner. As we are going to find Joe Stafford coming into this
gave
last turn.
One hell of a battle throughout that race.
He did. Fought the whole time till he just got tired. Couldn't anymore as Seba Cornez and Ryan Samuelson there finishing out. Oh no, that's okay. I was like, man, did he disconnect there? Is that why he's got a different? Maybe having some connectivity issues. That is exactly.
What happened?
Oh no, biffed it going
Oh,
into
he's good.
the last turn with the
He'll
connectivity
hold on to it though.
issues. I don't know what he's looking at there. What the deal is he's man, I just don't know. He's having some connectivity issues. You can tell.
Oh, it's a lock up and slide right into that Toyota sponsored runoff.
As he's going to stop there.
Puts it
That's
up
not the
there.
finish. That's why he lost that position. That's not the finish. You have to make it
Oh
to
my
that
goodness.
second flag stand, as that's what's going to give him
Oh
fifth.
my goodness.
Oh no.
Pulling a Mark Martin right there.
Yes, RJ Root kind of gets a consolation position from his little issue earlier.
He'll be happy to know that.
As he's going to, let's see if he makes it past the second.
Well, and
Oh
I
man.
can see that worry. I mean, you've got that first start finish line and a flagman up there.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you didn't have the flagman up there, I mean, I don't know if he was looking at that. I mean, I don't usually ever look at the flagman, but still, that could have been what confused him.
Yeah, and I know NASCAR, big NASCAR, they only had one flagman, I believe. They kind of split the difference on those two and had him right there near the ground. Kyle Busch almost ran him over in the Xfinity race.
Well, during the Cup race, I know that the flagman was actually in the that booth there, which is probably one of the nicest booths that any flagman gets in a NASCAR race. Got to avoid the rain, most likely. Hell, was probably not that he probably needed the AC, but I'm sure there's AC in there and everything.
He has
Austin makes his
Austin's.
way back around.
What is he doing? He's
There it
there,
is.
sideways burner down, keeps it on the asphalt. Expertly done there.
He's gonna burn those tires down. Well-deserved victory for just an absolute fantastic race that he gave us.
Very good job. Very good job,
I
Austin. Go ahead and send it up that hill.
go put up, go slide it into turn one there.
As that will end it for us here. Austin Story, Joe Stafford, Steve Cornez, RJ Root, Ryan Samuelson round out your top five, followed by Barrett Coffey, Thomas Neal, Charles Eaton, Neil Hale, Nicholas Breidenbach, and that's your top 10. After that, we got Chad Sander, Jack Anthony Durham, Dean Weeks, Alan Henson, Donnie Gatton Jr., Chris Cloud, Lauren Jones, Mike Contino, Steve Giberson, Steve Dardarius rounding out your top 20, Bob Nestor, Tom McGee, Damian Lester, Marty Roberts, and Kevin Work finishing out your SNN 130 at COTA. Uh, well, I had fun working with you, man. I appreciate you coming in and helping me call this replay.
My pleasure. I appreciate you letting me in. It was fantastic. Dude, when you said it was going to be a good one, you did not disappoint. Austin and Joe, just fantastic battling there throughout the race.
Yep, great race. So thanks for the help, man. I'm going to go ahead and send it off. We'll be here next week, this Sunday, for the Davis Brothers Roofing 300 at Charlotte, North Carolina. So take it easy, folks. For myself and Angel, correct?
Correct, yes.
For myself and Angel Santiago, this has been Sim Racing Media's presentation of the DBR race at COTA. Take it easy, and we shall see you guys next Sunday.
See ya, everybody.